Okay, good morning, everyone. It's our session number 3 from the course Path to Education, Training and Employment. So session 1 and session 2, we focused on education, and it was about understanding the current education system in the UK. So probably if you've come to previous sessions, you remember this image, which shows the structure of the education system in the UK, which is based on different levels, starting from level 2 up to level 8. And then in the past 2 weeks, we've learned together that if you want to apply for any level, you need to have a qualification from the previous level. For instance, if you would like to go to university which starts from level 4, you need to have a level 3 qualification. Or if you want to start a level 3, you need to have a level 2 qualification. And then we learned that in each level, you have different options. So for some of you, you already have your high school diploma from your country, which is GCSE level. For some of you, you went to college here in the UK or in your country, which is level 3. And for some of you, you have undergraduate degrees from your country, which could be level 4, 5, and 6. And you can use them. They are very good, very valuable, very helpful if you are thinking of applying for the next level. But some of you may need to do some other courses here as well. For instance, if you have a high school diploma and you want to go to university, you have options such as doing your A levels in a college or doing an access course. And probably from the previous sessions, you remember that access course is a very good option for many of you who think about using your high school diplomas to go to university here in the UK. And if you have an undergraduate degree, you can apply for postgraduate degrees as well. The other thing that you need to think about is your level of language, because yes, you have high school diploma from your country, you have your undergraduate degree from your country, but here in the UK, universities want you to show that you are good in your English as well. And again, you have different options. For undergraduate universities, they require you to have IELTS 5.5, 6 region, but you have other options such as functional skills level 2 or ESOL level 2 as well. So many students, they go to university not with IELTS, but they finish their functional skills English in college, and then they use that to apply for universities. If you think about going to university for postgraduate, you only have the option of IELTS and TOEFL. So you need to have IELTS 6, 6.5, sometimes 7, depending on the university. So this is what we covered the last 2 weeks about how to jump or to move from level 1 to level 2, level 2 to level 3, and then to university undergraduate, and then to university postgraduate. If you have any question about that, you can send me email, or you can go back to the videos and slides from previous weeks and look through the information one more time for yourself. There are many links that you can just click on them, and then that link will take you to a page on internet when you can find more information about any topic that you are interested in. Today, we are going to focus on this area, on job-related training. Okay? The reason is, can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, yes.
Okay, because I can see Wasim says your voice is gone. So probably Wasim, that's something about your device. Can you hear me, Wasim? Okay. All right. So today we are going to focus on job-related or vocational. Vocational means job-related trainings in the UK, including BTECs and apprenticeships and NVQs. The reason is not everyone is interested going to university. Even in the UK, not every student goes to university. Many people decide after finishing their high school, they decide university is not the best option for me. I would like to continue a different pathway. I would like to learn a job, some kind of skills, some kind of technical skills, and then enter a career and start working instead of spending 3, 4, 5 hours in 5 years in university and ending with a degree. And that could be similar for you. So many of you, you already gone to university in your countries, and probably if you have options to start working, you wouldn't go to university. So that's the reason that we look into these qualifications today. The good point is, for many of them, including BTECs, if you continue with a BTEC degree, and if you get your BTEC qualification, and use it later in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years time, if you would like to go to university, you can use them as well to apply for universities. Because as you can see, BTECs are level 2 and level 3. So if you have a you can apply to university using BTECs instead of A levels or access courses. So that's the good point about doing vocational training, because at some point, if you are not sure, you can use them to start a job, or you can use them to go to university. And as I said, this is the focus of our today's course, vocational trainings, and we look into different type of qualifications, different kind of options that you have when it comes to vocational training. Something that you need to have in mind. So when we discuss university options, I said that if you're a refugee, you have access to a student finance. There is no need to be worried about who is going to pay. You can apply for loans, and in most cases, you will get the loan. Not every case, but most cases, your loan application will be successful, and you can use that loan to pay for your tuition fees, as well as sometimes for your living expenses as well. If you are asylum seeker and going to university, you have the option of applying for scholarships. Okay, so as I showed you the other sessions, many or some asylum seekers go to university every year using different type of scholarships. And probably you remember from last 2 weeks that we talked about sanctuary scholarships, and probably you remember that the best place to find more information about sanctuary scholarships is the STAR, Student Action for Refugees Network webpage, where there is a list of universities with different type of scholarships that they have. So going to university and following this route, there is no issue, or there are some support available for asylum seekers. Unfortunately, when it comes to vocational training, okay, it's mainly about people with refugee status. I understand some of you are still waiting for your asylum claim to be processed, okay? Which means in the next 2, 3, 4 months, until you have your refugee status, you are not entitled to apply for these courses. But that's no issue, because just learn about these, okay? Learn about the options, learn about the entry requirements, learn about what kind of benefits they offer. And then once you have your status, then you can start applying. Because again, if you have refugee status, there are support available, financial support available if you apply for vocational trainings. Okay, so that's the main difference. There are scholarships for universities for asylum seekers, but unfortunately no scholarship for vocational training. But at some point, you will have your refugee status, and then you can apply for these courses. So think about them as future opportunities. Try to learn more about them and try to see if they fit your future plans or not. Okay, so if you want to start working in the UK, okay, some of you you have education, you have qualification, you have work experience from your country or some other countries, but not UK. Basically, not everyone needs to go to university. If you have your qualification, if you have your experience, if you speak good English, and if you have the right to work here in the UK, don't think that you need to go to university, and don't think that you need to do some kind of training here. There are people who come here, they have degrees, they have experience, they have a good level of English. So they start applying for jobs, and some of them, they have been successful. And we talk about job applications later next week. But for many of you, that's not the case. For many of you, you need to, probably you don't have the qualification. Some of you have qualification but don't have work experience. And some of you have qualification and work experience, but you don't speak English, like professional English. In that case, you need to do some kind of training. You need to do some kind of uh, language courses, or you need to do some kind of university courses or college courses to bring you to the level that you are good to apply for jobs. And again, some people decide to go to university, but some people decide that university is too long and university sometimes is expensive, and they decide university is not the best option for them. And they prefer to go through vocational training. And similarly, some of you don't have qualifications or work experience or a previous education. And again, you have these options of going to university or going through job-related training. So I would like you just to know, for some, university is the best option. For some of you, university may not be the best option, and you have better options if you think about starting a job sooner than spending 3-4 years in university. And we are going to focus on that. We are going to focus on people who don't think of university as the first and best option. And as I said, these qualifications, most of them, like BTECs, they offer different levels, including level 3, and you can use them for university application as well. So it's not just like, if I have a BTEC, I cannot go to university in 2, 3, 4 years time. Yes, you have that option if you decide that you want to return to university. So always have that in mind. Okay, so what is vocational qualification? It's about practical learning programs that relate to a specific job roles or employment sector. So again, it's about learning. So for some of them, you need to go to college, but for some of them, it's just about experience. So I'm going to give you some ideas about different options and how they operate and the structure of each of those qualifications. The first one that we are going to talk about today is a qualification called apprenticeship. The second one is BTEC. And the third one is NVQs or technical qualifications. Okay, so these are the three main vocational training options that you have: apprenticeship, BTEC diplomas, and technical qualification, including NVQs. And I'm going to explain each of them one by one for you to see how they are similar and how they are different in what they offer. You can think for yourself which one could be a good option for you. But before that, I want to introduce you to a website, which is one of the most useful websites that you have access to, called National Career Service. Okay? And in that website, you have different type of options for finding the information that you need. I'm going to go, if you click on the link, it will take you to the web page for National Career Service. Some of you may be familiar with the website, but if not, again, I suggest everyone going through the website, trying to find out different options, different features that it offers, and see how you can find the information that you need and how you can find an answer for the questions that you may have. So they have three main options. The first one is the skills assessment that you can take. So for many of you, you are not sure about what kind of jobs, what kind of courses are more suitable for you. So if you are thinking, should I study and work in nursing, or should I study and work as an engineer, or should I work and study in law and become a solicitor? If you are not sure what are the best options based on the skills, the personal skills and the qualification that you have, this test, this assessment is a very good way of finding out more about more suitable options. Okay, so there are 40 multiple choice questions and it takes only 5 to 10 minutes, and they give you some ideas about what kind of courses, what kind of jobs are more suitable for you based on your personality, based on your skills, based on your characteristics, and based on your future plans. So that's the first option that I would suggest everyone to take that test, probably today or tomorrow and whenever you have time. The next option that this website offers is Explore Careers. So again, for many of you, you don't know or you are not fully aware of different type of jobs available in this country. So probably you know there is a job called nursing, but you don't know in that sector how many other options do you have. So this section of the National Career Service is the best place to find information about different type of careers. Okay, I'm going to, for instance, giving you an example. If you go to that page here, you can search for any kind of job. So I'm going to check for nursing, and as you can see, you have different type of options. So let's say we go for nurse, and if you search for that, and as you can see, there are 65 different roles associated or linked with nursing. So we don't have just one job title in the UK as a nurse. There are different types of nursing, different jobs for people who study nursing, and different type of qualification that you can apply for. We have nurse, we have nurse associate, we have a school nurse, we have veterinary nurse, which is nurse for animals, we have district nurse, dental nurse, healthcare assistant, mental health nurse, practice nurse, children nurse, and so on. So as you can see, probably many of you don't know how many jobs are available in the sector as a nurse. You may think, oh, it's just a nurse. But if you go to this website, you will find more information about different type of options that you have in nursing. Let's see for, I'm not sure, graphic. Okay, so there is a job called graphic designer. Okay, but if you click on graphic designer and information, you have more than 200 different jobs relevant to being a graphic designer. So starting with the graphic designer itself, but there is product designer, web designer, kitchen designer, user experience designer, and so on, which gives you information about how many options you have, and then you can start thinking about which one is the best option for you, and you can start planning for them. The other good thing that it offers is about, I go back to nursing. So for instance, if you would like to work as a nurse here in the UK, if you click on any of those, so for instance, I go for nurse and click on that, it gives you many information that you need in your planning, okay? So first of all, it gives you information about, okay, if you become a nurse, this is the range of salary that you can expect. It starts, average salary for a nurse currently in the UK is £31,000, but for more experienced senior nurse, it could be up to £47,000. So you have some ideas about, if I study this, what kind of salary I can expect in 3, 4, 5 years' time. The working hours, so on average, nurses, they work between 37 to 42 hours a week. And the other kind of information that it offers, it's about how to become a nurse, okay? Because many of you, if you think of any kind of job, okay, you need some kind of information about how to become a nurse, how to become a computer engineer, how to become a graphic designer, how to become a solicitor, how to become a teacher here in the UK. And here, if you click on this, it gives you all the information you need about how to become a nurse. If you search for another job, again, it gives you information about how to become that person, how to get that job here in the UK. As you can see, to become a nurse in the UK, the first and the main option is going to university. Okay, so you go to university, and we talked about going to university last week, but that's not the only option. So you have option for apprenticeship as well, which is something that I'm going to explain today. So university is one way of becoming a nurse, or one way of having any other job in the UK, or many other jobs in the UK. But for many jobs, you have other options through vocational training, such as apprenticeship. Okay, and we are going to talk about this option today. If you need more information about the responsibilities of a nurse, so these are the skills and these are the responsibilities for a nurse, the day-to-day task of a nurse. If you think about the career progression, again, more information, and then you will find current opportunities to become a nurse. As you can see, we talked about access to nursing courses. Many colleges, they offer access to nursing. So if you have high school diploma from your country, from Sudan, Ukraine, I'm not sure, Somalia, Syria, and you would like to study nursing in the UK, probably you need to do an access course first, and you can find more information about them here. Or if you are a nurse and you would like to apply for jobs, there are some links to job opportunities as well. So the point is, use the website to find information about any kind of job that you are interested in. And with that, you will have information about the courses and the trainings that you need to pass. And the third part, which is very useful as well, is about find a course. Okay, so some of you, if you don't know what courses you need, start from exploring careers. I want to become a nurse, what courses to take? I want to become a graphic designer, what courses to take? But if you know what courses you need to take, but you don't know where to find them, you can use the find a course section. Okay, so you go to find a course. You can start with your town, city, or postcode, or with the course that you are looking for. So let's see access to nursing. And it gives you all the courses available across the country. If you put your city here, like for instance, saying London, and then you choose the area of London that you're in, then it can show you a specific information about the opportunities in that part of London. Okay, so for instance, we know that in this area, the Westminster area of London, we have these kind of courses for access to nursing. Okay, so again, a very good place to start searching for the courses that, and it could be about everything. It could be even about ESOL. Okay, so you need ESOL course. You can just check for ESOL courses based on the postcode that you are in. You need functional skills. Again, you check for functional skills courses, as you can see, and based on that, you can find based on your postcode. Also, you can find based on the levels, if you want online or classroom, full-time or part-time, and then you can choose the level as well. So do you want functional skills level 1, level 2, entry, and so on. So again, the main point, the main message is this is a very good website, okay? If you haven't used this before, start taking the test, finding more information about the careers that you are interested in, and then finding the courses that you need to take to get to kind of go through the jobs that you are interested in and planning for. Before I continue with our session, any question about the National Career Service? Anyone has a question about National Career Service? Okay, so let me. Well, there is a question from Dora. She asked, is it true that they don't accept any job unless experience? It is different, Dora, based on the jobs, okay? There are some jobs. I work with many people who came to the UK, who applied for jobs without British experience, and they were successful. So it depends on the kind of job. If you are an accountant, it's more or less similar in different types of in different countries. So you don't need to have a specific experience of accounting in the UK. If you know how to work with the softwares and if you know how to do the accounting, you have chance of having the job. But for many jobs, including if you're a teacher, the teaching practice could be different here in the UK than other countries. If you're a nurse, the nursing could be different here in the UK compared to other countries. Then you need to have some kind of British work-related experience here. We come to the point of how to improve your work experience and different options that you have. But that's the main point is, Dora, for many jobs, you have more chance of being accepted if you have work experience here. Not always, but for most cases, you need to have some kind of work experience from the UK. Okay, let me go back to the slides. All right, so we went through the different options for National Career Service. And I suggest everyone going through the website for yourself and searching for the information that you need. But coming back to vocational qualifications, as I said, we have three main options: apprenticeship, BTECs, and NVQs. Starting with apprenticeship, Apprenticeships are a combination of job training with classroom learning to become a professional in a specific job. Okay, so if you apply for an apprenticeship and if you start your apprenticeship, most of the time you go to college 1 or 2 days a week, and then for 3 or 4 days you go to a workplace. Okay, a combination, you work for a company. So a combination of college learning and workplace training. There is no age restriction for that. There is no degree restriction, and apprenticeships are paid. Okay, so that's one of the main benefits of doing an apprenticeship. You go to college and you learn something, but at the same time you work and you learn a kind of a skill, and at the same time it's paid. So compared to university, which you need to pay for that, for apprenticeship it's a paid job, and based on your experience every year you can have your payment being increased. For apprenticeship we have different levels, starting with level 2 or intermediate apprenticeship, level 3 or advanced level apprenticeship, and higher apprenticeship, which is level 4 and above, and degree apprenticeship, which is same as BSc or MSc degrees. So if you would like to have more information about apprenticeship, there are some links which you can follow and find more information for yourself. I'm going just to check one of them for you, the UCAS webpage, but there are again 3 things that I would like you to have in mind. Apprenticeship is a combination of going to college and working for a company. It's paid, so you don't need to pay, and there are different levels. You can start with the level that fits you. You can start with intermediate GCSE level, level 2. If you have high school diploma from your country, you can start with that, or you can start with higher levels like advanced, which is level 3, and higher and degree. And then you can progress in your apprenticeship as well. So if you click on the UCAS web link there, it takes you to a page when you can find more information about apprenticeship. So you can find information about what is an apprenticeship, which I explained to you. You can search for different type of apprenticeship opportunities open at the moment. Also, you can sign up for having emails every time there is an apprenticeship which is suitable for you. If you are interested in having an apprenticeship in health and care, and then different type of apprenticeship that NHS offers, you can find more about careers in NHS, different type of industries, different levels of apprenticeship, and then you can learn some stories from people who did apprenticeship and who were successful. Okay, here you can see some of the previous students who did an apprenticeship and they were successful in finishing and finding jobs. Instead of spending years in going to university, they started an apprenticeship. It was paid from the beginning, and they were successful in making progress in the jobs that they were interested in. So when I send you the slides, I suggest everyone goes through the apprenticeship page and find out more information. Again, if you don't have a qualification from the UK, that's not an issue. If you have high school diplomas, GCSEs, even if you have functional skills level 2 here, level 2 in English, math, and ICT, those to start applying for intermediate apprenticeship. Okay, that's something to have in mind. The second option is BTECs. So BTEC diplomas are sector-related qualifications. So some of you are interested in some kind of sector or industry. So you know that you would like to work in business, but you don't know which job you are interested in, or what job options do you have? Some of you would like to work in the IT and computer sector, but you don't know what kind of jobs and options do you have, and you are not sure about it. So BTECs are good options based on the sector. So you have, at the moment, we have over 2,000 qualifications, 16 sectors, and they are different levels. So these are the sectors. So if you are in business, if you are interested in a job in business, if you want to become a manager, a business person, a marketing professional, so you can do a BTEC in business, and with that, they'll train you to have the skills needed to work in that particular sector. But if you are interested in performing arts, you can do a BTEC in performing arts or in art and design. Or if you are interested in engineering, but you don't want to go to university and study engineering, you want to learn practical engineering skills, you can choose BTEC in engineering. Again, to remind you of the fact that not everyone would like to go to university, would like to learn skills to start a job instead of ending up with a degree. But the good point about BTECs are, if you do BTEC in engineering, you can use your BTEC in engineering to apply for university courses. If you do a BTEC in ICT, computer, you can use your BTEC to apply for university courses in computer and ICT and IT. Similar to apprenticeship and similar to every other degree, BTECs, they have different levels. So if you have high school diploma, GCSEs, level 2 functional skills, you can start applying for BTEC first. And these are level 2, entry to level 2. But if you have level 2, then you can apply for BTEC nationals that are from level 3, and there are higher levels as well. So again, based on your current situation, you can apply with different levels of BTEC. And as you can see here, BTECs have different levels. And as I said, instead of doing A levels or access courses, you can do a BTEC level 3, preparing yourself for a job, but at the same time, you can use that to apply for universities as well. So again, remember, for each level, you have different options, the academic options and the vocational options. When I send you the slides again, you have this particular page. If you click on this link, it takes you to a page where you can find more information about BTEC qualifications. Different sectors, you need to decide which sector you are interested in, first of all. So if you do BTEC engineering, you cannot use it for a job in performing arts, because every course is going to teach you a specific skills and training you need for that particular sector. As I said, there are different levels of BTEC. You can start with whichever level which suits you better, depending on the current situation and current qualification that you have. If you remember from the previous slides, apprenticeship is a combination of college and work experience. But for BTEC, it's more college, okay? So you go to college and it's mainly about, it's very similar to university courses. And compared to apprenticeship, which I said it's paid, you will be paid your salary for apprenticeship. BTECs are not paid. You need to pay for that. But I'll get to the financial support available in a few moments. So if you are interested in vocational training, again, BTEC is a very good option. And I had students in the past that they did BTEC, and after a year, they used that BTEC to go to university. So it's a good option for both preparing yourself for a job, but at the same time, having your the requirement for entering a university course. Apprenticeship was paid, but for BTech, they are not. But similar to university, if you have refugee status, you can have access to finance. So you have learner support and you have advanced learner loan. If you cannot afford to pay for your BTech course, and if you have refugee status, that's not an issue. You can apply for different type of loans, similar to a student loan when you go to university, and you can use that loan to pay for the cost of your BTech course. Again, there are boxes here, and if you go to the National Career Service, if you are interested in a BTech, just put BTech and search, and then you have options in different areas that you can see. You can filter them based on the level as well. So for instance, if you want to do BTech in ICT, and you want it to be, let's search for BTech in ICT. So this is ICT, and then you can say, I want to do level 2 or level 3. Then it filters the results based on the level. So as you can see, there are many different type of BTech courses in ICT available in different areas of the country. You can filter that based on your postcode as well. Again, I repeat that. I just want you to know university is not the only option, and for many of you may not be the best option. Just think about different options you have, specifically if you have refugee status or when you have refugee status, because some of them, they take less time and you start working and earning money sooner than going to university for 3 or 4 years. For some of you, university may be a better option as well. So always think about which option is the best option for you. The third type of qualification that I'm going to explain after apprenticeship and BTECs are technical qualifications, including NVQs and T-levels. And these are job-related technical qualification. So in the BTEC, you need to know which sector, which industry you are interested in. And you can do a BTEC in business, you finish that BTEC, and then you can decide which specific job you would like to apply for. But for NVQ, you need to know which specific job you would like to have in the future, because NVQs will train you for a specific job, and these are mainly technical skills. At the moment, we have more than 1,000 work-related NVQ subjects. If you click on this link, it will take you to a page where you can find more information about NVQs. You can go to a college for NVQ, or you can go to a workplace for NVQ. These are good options, as I said, if you know which specific job you would like to do. You would like to become a mechanic, then NVQ is a better option for you than BTEC, because NVQ train you specifically on to become a car mechanic. You would like to become, I'm not sure, a hairdresser. NVQ is a very good option for people who would like to open a beauty salon and become a hairdresser. You would like to become a care worker. NVQ is a very good option because they specifically train you for that particular job. You can find more information about the assessment, and most of the time, you don't need to do exams for NVQs. It's just about observation. You do the job, you learn how to do the job, someone will observe you, and they see if you can do the job or not. There is no exam like university or college. And most of the time, they could take less than a year to complete an NVQ. Okay, so you don't need to spend 3-4 years of the courses. If you would like to become a mechanic, in 6 months to a year, you can go through all the trainings and you can start working and earning money. And they are quite flexible in that you can have a part-time job or a full-time job, but at the same time, enough time to do an NVQ. So you don't need to stop working to do an NVQ. You have option of, okay, I want to do part-time job and at the same time doing my NVQs as well. Again, the third option, which is very good option, is the option of NVQs. And they have different levels, and you can start with the level that is more appropriate for you. I'm going to go back to just to show you what kind of NVQs we have. If again, going to National Carrier Service and searching for NVQs. So we have NVQ in barbering, NVQ in hairdressing, because it's based on alphabet, it's started with nail service. Let's see if there is any non-beauty NVQs that we can see. Yeah, so here NVQ in engineering and maintenance, NVQ in plastering and construction, NVQ in let's go to next pages. Many of them, as you can see, are in beauty sector. This one, hospitality services, if you are interested in working in hotel industry. So these kind of NVQs are very helpful. Professional cookery, if you want to become a chef and work in hotels or restaurants. And as you can see, most of them, they take less than 1 year to complete. Let's see what other options. Again, cookery, customer service. If you want to work in business sector, working for retail, supermarkets, retail shops, and so on, and different type of companies, a customer service NVQ could be very helpful. Demolition, construction, cookery. So the point is, just I wanted to show you, if you are interested in a specific job, university may not be the best option. You have option of NVQs in less than a year. You can be trained with the skills to start applying for jobs and working in that particular sector. Let me go back to the presentation. And as I said, there are different levels. Even for many of you, even if you don't have a high school diploma from your country, but you have basic like level 1 or level 2 English and math functional skills, you can use them to start an NVQ. Don't be worried if you don't have qualifications. Even functional skills level 1, sometimes, level 2 most of the times is good enough to apply and start your NVQ. I have added more links to different type of websites where you can find more information about how to apply for or how to find and apply for NVQs. The other very good option that you have, and I'm just go back to the question that Dora asked earlier in terms of the work experience. Yes, if you have work experience here in the UK, it will increase your chance of being more successful in your job applications. Even when you go to university, having a university degree itself is not helpful without having a work experience. So I suggest everyone start having some work experience as soon as you can. And in the UK, specifically for entry-level jobs, employers, they equally value volunteer jobs. So if you don't have a paid job, that's not an issue. Even if you can add some kind of volunteer job to your CV, that's very helpful, because many employers, they don't care if your job was paid or was unpaid and as a volunteer. They want to see that you worked, and they want to see that you can work in this country and in this environment. And they want to see that you have some experience of working with people in English language, okay? And working as a volunteer, it gives you many of the skills that you need, and you can add that to your CV. I would say every person that I worked with, and they were successful in finding jobs, at some point they worked as a volunteer for a month, for 2 months, for 3 months, for 6 months. It doesn't matter. Just start working and finding some opportunity to work as a volunteer, because first of all, you can find some good friends, people who can support you. You can practice your English, and you can learn some kind of skills which you can then add to your CV. How to find volunteer jobs? So if you in any town or city that you live, there are some charities, there are some community centers. Go to the nearest one and say that I want to do a volunteer job. In many cases, they are open and welcoming, and if they have any opportunity, they offer you some kind of volunteer role. It could be for 1 day, 1 hour, 2 days, few hours. It depends on what kind of opportunities do they have. But that's the first step. Go to the nearest community center and ask, I do like to do something as a volunteer. You can do it online. There are some online pages that I added here. Charity jobs, local volunteer center, and reach volunteering. So I start with charity job and show you how to search for volunteer roles. If you click on that, it takes you to this website. And as you can see, there are 2 options, paid and volunteer. So click on volunteer, and then based on your postcode or based on the title, just search for something. For instance, if you live in, I'm not sure, Bristol, and you want something around 1 mile from Bristol, let's see what kind of volunteer roles are available. And in the left side, you can see there are fundraising support, trustees, public relation volunteers, after school volunteer, research volunteer, project manager volunteer, event helper volunteer. And based on your skills, you can find something which is suitable for you. For instance, this one is a very good one if you are not sure about the skills that you have. So event volunteer, you can just go to the event that they have, and you can help with different kind of tasks, welcoming people, fundraising, online fundraising, marketing, and then you can learn all of these skills and you can add that to your CV later. Let's see what other kind of sales organizer. Working in charity shops is a very good option. Many of them are about fundraising, but there are some others as well. Website. So if you have some kind of skills in computer, in graphic, in design, you can just work as a website audit volunteer, just helping charities or organizations with keeping their website. That's a good question, Dora. They give you a reference letter. Yes, they don't give you certificate in a university certificate, but all of them, they will give you a reference letter, which is very good, very valuable when you apply for jobs. So any kind of voluntary job that you do, when you finish, the place that you volunteered for, they give you a reference letter saying that the person worked for us as a volunteer for 6 months, for 3 months, and these are the skills that he or she has, and we are happy with the person, and she was good or very supportive and very helpful. And these are very helpful when you apply for jobs. It can show that you have experience and you have a good person for to employ and to hire. So yes, they give you reference letter, and that's why these are very good opportunities, because you learn something, you improve your English, but at the same time they give you some evidence, some reference letter that you can use for your job applications. In many of towns and cities that you live, there is a local volunteer center. So if you go to this web page, you can find the volunteer center in your area, and then you can just call them or email them or go through their website and find more about. You can see, as if this is the map, and in every city, most of the towns in the UK, there is a local volunteer center. So this is in England, sorry. So in most of the cities and towns of England, we have a local volunteer center. So for instance, if you're in, let's see, in Bristol here, these are different volunteer centers that we have in that area. In the city of Bristol, this is the Bristol Volunteer Center. In the left side, you can see their web page. And if you go to their web page, there should be a list of current voluntary opportunities in Bristol. So jobs and volunteering, find a role, and then the opportunities that you may have. So you can just click on voluntary opportunities, and then you can see there are different type of roles at the moment available in different charities in Bristol where they need a volunteer. So very good places to start your job work experience and add something to your CV. And the last one is a website called Reach Volunteering, which again, you can search based on your city and based on your postcode for different type of opportunities available. I just remind you of the point that if you are still waiting for your asylum claim, unfortunately, for vocational training, you need to wait until you have your refugee status. But for those of you with refugee status, you have access to financial support. And these are the two main ones: learner support and then advanced learner loan. And when I send you the slides, if you click on each of them, you will find more information about how to apply for advanced learner loan if you are applying for instance, for NVQs and so on. And then the other one is about other sources of funding. So what other financial support is available if you decide to do a vocational training. I'll go back to this slide just to say today I introduced you to 3 main vocational qualifications. The first one was apprenticeship, a combination of college and workplace training, which is paid with different levels. The second one was BTEC, based on the industry and sector. If you are interested in a specific industry, that's the college course prepares you for that particular industry. And then the third one, NVQs, if you are interested in a specific technical job, NVQ could be a good option because they train you in terms of the technical skills and hands-on skills you need for that particular job. Apprenticeship is paid. NVQ and BTEC, you need to pay for that. But if you have refugee status, you have government-funded support available to pay for those fees if you need to. And then if you go to university or if you decide to go vocational training, you always need work experience to improve your chance of applying for jobs. And a very good way of finding that work experience is to start working as a volunteer. And I showed you how to find volunteer roles in your local area by going to the nearest community center or going online or different websites and find those opportunities. And that's the end of our today's session. So in session 1, we went through the 1 and 2, we went through the academic route. Today, we went through the vocational trainings and NVQs. Next week, which is our final week, I'll explain the process of how to find jobs, how to apply for jobs, and how to improve your chance of being successful in your job applications. I'm going to stop here, and now it's time for you if you have any specific question that you would like to ask about today or about the previous sessions or about